Hey, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to our Saturday night chat and with Mike from VentureCast. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah. And congrats on the 3,000 hours.
Yeah, we're excited about that, but at the same time, I'm kind of nervous because I do know they review the account or review all your stuff, and that promotion that I did through the Google deal. Hey, Cruising on the High Seas, welcome in. Thanks for joining.
Howdy.
I kind of let it go longer than I had anticipated, and before I knew it, I had like over 12,000 subscribers, which I know, obviously, I don't know how many of those are actually subscribers.
Right.
So I don't, and it kind of makes me wonder what's going to happen when they review the account. Because, it was through there.
Hey, that's not nice, Rob.
Oh, yeah. We'll try. Just kind of makes me wonder what's going to happen if they go to, even though it was done through their deal.
Right. Well, see, I think they don't, because I did the same thing. On one of my videos, and because it'll tell you that, I guess, like the subscribers you get or the hours that you get for that one doesn't necessarily count.
Right.
And I was kind of paying attention to it when I was doing mine, and I don't think that they were racking up the hours, because I would see people, it would be getting like views or whatever, but I think they were deducting it as it was happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my theory on it, because I was watching my watch hours and it wasn't going, even though I was getting all these views on that one video, those watch hours it never was affected.
Yeah, I didn't see any really increase when it came to the watch hours, which is kind of what I had done it for. But, I figured if nothing else, hey, this will drive people to my channel and maybe they'll watch something else.
Right.
That was my idea behind it. But then when I saw they show how many subscribers you get on each video. Well, I started deducting the amount of subscribers they were showing that I was getting from what I was actually registering.
Right.
And out of that 12K, I think there's only like 3,000 that they're showing that I got. And I think I only got notified like on maybe 5 or 6 that, hey, this person subscribed to your channel. But all the other ones, I'm just like, okay, well, where did these come from?
Right. I don't know.
So, it's kind of got me nervous as to what they're gonna,
what's gonna happen?
Yeah, what's gonna happen? It was through their deal.
Yeah, I don't know that I would do it again. Honestly, I didn't really see that I got much out of it. Yeah, I did get views on that video. I did gain some subscribers, but it didn't help me in the watch hour department, that's for sure.
Right. And I did like a little video on the actual promotion and how it works. And really the only benefit that I could see from it was maybe if, let's say, somebody's got the watch hours, but they're needing some subscribers, maybe run it for a little bit just to get the last.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on how many they're showing you're getting. And as long as what you get is more than because they say that what you get from that promotion doesn't count towards anything.
Right.
So, yeah, and I guess we're kind of wondering what we do from here once they, if everything passes, because we hadn't really looked into it.
Well, they'll just turn on your super chat function. So like the next time, like whenever you go live, like once you get that activated, so your next live, they'll have that little $sign thing in the chat. And so people watching, they'll see that and they'll be able to super chat And hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer, welcome in.
And then you can also activate memberships, channel memberships if you want to do that. And then you can set it how you want it. You know, if you want to do like offer 2 different levels or 3 different levels, whatever. And then it's kind of up to you to figure out what you're gonna offer for those memberships. You know, I haven't done that yet. I started to, but you know, I kind of wanted to hold off until I had like an idea, because if I want to do it, then I was gonna make sure I offered something,
Yeah.
like maybe some exclusive videos, or maybe like, you know, the outtakes from like when I'm editing videos. Maybe do like the whole video instead of just the edited version. I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, and then I guess we talked to Jennifer for a little bit on this. I guess it's the swag shop or whatever. Swag. Hey, Scott from Controversial Cruising. Thanks for coming by.
Hey,
Dropping
Scott.
in. And so I gotta get that link from her again, because I can't remember she told me what the name of it was, and I ended up forgetting the name. I got to work to look it up, and when I was on break, and it just I couldn't remember the name for the life of me.
Right.
But I also want to kind of go through, because she was telling me a little bit about the different colors. You know, some of them charge you per color and this, that, and other thing. And so I kind of want to go with maybe look at redesigning the logo for that. But I'll probably
she said it's Spread Shop.
Okay. Yeah, Spread Shop. Yeah, that's not what I was finding, but I can remember that. I hope. If not, I'll come back and watch the video. So, okay, where'd she say what it was?
Yeah. Well, that's cool. At least, you know, you're on that road anyway. Next year, get that 4,000. That's where I've been stuck. I think my thing was I stopped putting stuff out regularly. You know, I got out of all that, and then there was almost a 2-month period where I wasn't putting hardly anything out. So,
right.
I think that definitely took some, you know, wind out of my sails.
Yeah, that does hurt. I had kind of turned the video over to my daughter to do, and she, of course, you know, she's got her job to do, but by the time she was trying to get the interview that I did with Emily, the naturalist, on the Luminosa.
Yeah.
We had everything was going real good, and then a book club decided to sit down next to us, just on the other side of where we were. So we got all their chatter, their laugh, their
right,
everything. And so she was going to try to see if she could get that removed somehow, and she wasn't able to. She was able to correct some of the coloring because she works at a news station. She's actually a producer at one of the news stations, and so she worked with another individual on editing it and making the color a little bit better, getting some of the background noise taken out of it. But I mean, it took 2 months, or it seemed like 2 months.
Yeah.
And by that time, it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's kind of hard to, when you're trying to put stuff out, it's like, okay, I can't wait 2 months, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just getting in. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Howdy.
Getting used to not having that cast on her arm. I thought they had just wrapped it up in like a big ace bandage, but apparently what they had done is, I guess, made a fiberglass cast of her arm and then cut it in half. Put some wrapping under it, then wrapped more around it. I mean, it was huge.
Cotton filling and everything else.
Cotton filling, and then the fiberglass cast itself. And so she was really happy to get that off yesterday.
Yeah. Well, that's
Hey, Em, welcome in.
howdy.
And so she's not only happy about that, but also happy about not having to work tonight.
That's a double bonus.
Yeah.
You know, if that scheduler would pull her head out.
Yeah. Who does the scheduling?
That would be me. That's all right. Ow.
Yeah, kind of. I've been trying to go back there and see what the exact hours were, but since I submitted that deal, anytime I go to that earning page, it brings up that notification, hey, it's being reviewed.
Right.
Okay, well,
Yeah. Like I said, I want to say mine took a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then they sent me I think they sent me an email, I'm pretty sure, and activated everything. And then sometime after that, maybe even a month after that, I got the actual thing in the mail from Google, with the AdSense account and all that in there.
now when they send I guess from whatever revenue you get from the ads or whatever, which I don't expect it to be much, how did they, I know it's I think Jennifer was saying it was $100 before they'll send you anything. Do they
Right.
actually send you a check in the mail, or is it like a deposited into the account? Or
You know what? I don't know. I've been getting super chats, but I haven't hit the $100 yet. So it's just all that money just sits there, and until I hit that 100, I don't know. I'm assuming it's because they have my bank account information, so I'm assuming it would be electronic, but I really don't know.
okay,
Oh yeah, Scott says direct deposit. So, which I think that because I gave them all my direct deposit information. So
okay, that's cool. That's good to know.
but yeah, as far as the ad revenue stuff, I don't know because I haven't hit my 4,000 yet. So, but Scott hit his 4,000. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, I had.
Scott's big time.
Yeah,
Congrats, Scott.
Yeah,
I'm not on here much, so it's the first I've heard about it.
yeah. It was mentioned last night, and that was when he was with Sean.
I was still on TV at that point.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, it's on the 21st of the month once you have over $100.
Okay.
Yeah. Deposit on the 21st of every month.
Yeah. Right. It's his company. Scott said he was out to dinner. He'd come up with us, and company's paying for dinner. So
Oh yeah.
I get that.
Well, make sure you order the lobster, the double lobster tails, and a couple of margaritas.
Now we're talking. Doesn't matter what flavor.
If they're paying, I mean, I'd load up as much as I could.
I just got back from a work trip, and it's X amount per day. If you spend over that, it comes out of pocket. So they're like, yeah, order what you want. This is all you're getting, though.
Yeah, the per diem. Yeah,
Second entree for $5. That sounds like
No, that's Carnival. The third isn't it the third entree for Carnival?
the third, yeah.
Yeah.
But that Cracker Barrel, that
Oh.
you get a second meal for $5 there. So if you order a meal and eat there, then you can get one to go for, I think it's $5.
I don't know that.
We've never done it, but
I didn't know about it.
it's a special they have every so often.
Oh, okay.
Good deal.
Yeah.
And Cracker Barrel's pretty good. I don't know how it is warmed over, but
Well, it depends on what you get.
Yeah,
I like the fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
that's good. The glazed carrots are good to go with it. That might heat up okay.
Yeah, it would. The gravy and the chicken fried steak's good too.
Yeah, extra gravy. I don't know about reheating mashed potatoes. Those are just not. They're all right. They're all right the first time, so they're all right the second time.
Yeah.
I'd try it. I mean, if they didn't taste good, then
I have a coworker. He would do that when we go out to eat. For somebody's birthday, and we went there. He'd be like, "Yeah, I think Olive Garden does something like that too." Or we used to. I'm sure it's not 5. It might be 10, but
well, I did find out the hard way not to reheat spaghetti. Or I vacuum sealed some spaghetti. I had to go to Colorado for a 2-week training, and the per diem for food they give you, and you don't have to show any receipts or anything for it. So we were staying in a hotel. I was going to be staying in a place that had a full kitchen, and so I was just like, well, heck, let's make up some extra stuff here. I'll freeze it and take it with me.
that was the problem, is freezing it, not the reheating.
Yeah. And so we made some spaghetti one night, and we had a bunch left over. So I was like, well, let's just throw it in a zip, one of those seal meal bags, and I'll just reheat it. I got a pot of water, boiled it, and poured it out. And yeah, that was probably the worst meal I ever ate. Because those noodles were just like mush.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens.
But yeah, that's we kind of took advantage of that because the hotel that we stayed at fed us breakfast, and so that was free. Then we would go out to like Subway or something for lunch, and then I had the stuff that I brought home for dinner, and it was like $30-$40 a day for meals, and I might spend 6 or 8.
You ain't gonna spend that at Subway now.
No, get their $5.90, they're 2 for 1 or whatever it is, and I mean, it was real cheap.
Yeah.
Some people used to make money off of that. They've doing stuff like that.
I've worked with
A lot
some
of
people that did that too.
Yeah, I used to know people in the Navy that would send you to school somewhere, and you'd get per diem, and they started giving out those government credit cards, and they would tell you, you could do it either one of 2 ways. I mean, you could use the card, collect the receipts, but most people, because they would tell you before you left, you're allotted so much per day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could take that government credit card, just go to the ATM and pull out that much per day. And then that way you just have to show that receipt. And so that's what a lot of people do. They just went and pulled out the cash, and then they would go, like Dollar General, get some cheap food and eat it in the barracks, and pocket the rest.
Yeah, the only receipt they made us show was for our lodging, because the per diem included X amount for lodging and X amount for food. They didn't care about the food receipts. It was the lodging that you had to show them a receipt for. And then, if it was under that, you had to pay that back. If it was over that, sorry, this is what you were allotted. You foot the rest.
Yeah.
How does it work though when the hotel gives you a credit back?
Well,
because almost all of us, the 5 or 6 of us that were together, that checked out together, I know 5 of the 6 of us got $21.40 put back on. It showed a credit on the receipt. Well, they didn't give us the money, but I'm just wondering what kind of paperwork it's going to entail when we get back in on Monday and turn that in.
That's up for the business office.
Didn't get charged what we were supposed to.
Yeah, because you use the
They paid for the hotel before we got there. They put it in our name, and we just went in and said, "Hi, I'm here. Here's my ID." And then when we checked out, we're supposed to get a zero balance receipt, and most of us had a $21 credit on there. And I'm like, it's supposed to be zero balance.
well, that'll be up for the accounting office to figure out.
Well, I guess it's better than a positive balance, or
Yeah,
I don't know. Yes. Well, negative meaning that they were getting something back, or
Yeah.
negative. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we rented any movies or anything like that, then we would have had to pay for it. But I don't know on this. I've never had. I mean, I've been traveling for about 19 years with the state, and never had that happen. And now it's just like, went out of state for something, and I'm like, I don't know what to do on this. So, bonk, hit her head.
She won't make up her mind what she wants to do. She knows we sat down at the table to do something, so now she's got us over a barrel.
Yeah.
She's wanting to bark and go out. And
She's been out. She's had a snack. She's good.
Yep.
Yeah, Emily said if you would like and subscribe to both channels, we both appreciate that, or
Yeah.
all three appreciate that very much.
Yeah. Yes, we would. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah.
Scott grew a lot. Yeah, he's very active, very energetic, a lot more than
He's
I am.
putting in a lot of work.
Yeah.
I see him. He's everywhere.
Popping up all the time.
Yep.
It's like the ultimate YouTube game show host.
He does very well with that. I don't have the personality for that because I'm just kind of side eye to people. I'm like,
the Wink Martindale of Cruise Tube, I guess.
Right.
Emily said they didn't have a Cracker Barrel. So sorry. It's good. I mean, it's been better in the past, but it's good. And the shopping out front is awesome. They have some really cool stuff. And if you like the nautical theme, boy, they have some really cute stuff. I just gave her one of those.
She's in the bar.
Okay. Scott. Yes. Hey, we all need to learn from you, Scott. So I don't know, Jennifer. I feel like I'm either at work or asleep, getting ready to go back to work. So I didn't even think to take off. Thirsty Thursday and match game. Yeah, that's what did it. I mean, every time I popped into that match game, it's been full. Yeah. I'm in my car yelling answers. I never get logged into it or anything like that, but I might get 4 answers out of the whole page, We'll talk cruising, but when Jen gets on here, we squirrel bad. But that's how we're able to keep going because she and I talk for hours and hours at a time anyway. So
that's for sure.
Wedding decor.
I mean, they could, Jen. They have, life rings and what are those, lighthouses and all kinds of stuff. Cute little girl dresses. It's been a minute since we've been in there, but they had a lot of stuff. I was just like, I need to not look.
I like looking at the different candy. Are you talking about Cracker Barrel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the different candies and stuff that they have because it's like, man, I remember these. I haven't seen these in ages.
Candy cigarettes and what was it we saw today? Charleston Chew.
Yeah.
They have stuff like that, and then what is it? Those Cherry Smash or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to my daughter. She's planning her wedding in April, so she's been telling me all, hiring a DJ and a caterer and this, that, and the other. I just provided the money. That's my end of it. I just asked her, like, what are we doing? What am I doing? Where am I staying?
You don't really need a DJ nowadays. Get an account with Spotify and make a playlist and hook it up
That's
to
what I
some.
said. That's what I said. Just have somebody with a Spotify account or Amazon Music or
Yeah, just hook it up to the speak. Get some good speakers that you can hook it up to. And I don't know what. I've never looked into the cost of a DJ, but I know they're not cheap.
yeah.
It'd be a lot cheaper to buy a month subscription to Spotify.
Yeah. And you can put together your own playlist and
Yep. And if somebody wants to make a request, look through the deal and say, okay, yeah, here it is. Add it to the query.
just put a jar up, and like, hey, $5 requests or maybe that could be a job for me. I don't know.
There you go. Be that or a honeymoon fund,
All right.
$5 per song.
Yeah.
Well, was it Kelly that we offered to when she was wanting to do her wedding? We said, hey, if you'll go elope, we'll give you. Wasn't it we offered her X amount and his parents offered X amount if they just went and eloped or something like that, or went to Vegas or I don't know, justice of the peace or whatever. That way they'd start off with a huge bank account. And they're like, no, we want a wedding. It's like, okay. Well, then we'll take the money that we were going to give you and spend it on a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, hey, and that's basically, I guess, how it was pretty much put was, would you rather have a wedding or the money that way you can start your life off with a good nest egg?
Yeah.
No, we'd rather have the wedding. Okay. Which I can kind of see why, but at the same time,
Yeah, she was in a old movie theater.
Yeah.
And it had a balcony and a staircase at the front. And then she did, of course, she did Disney theme, so we ended up a Christmas tree on both sides. And then we had the rose and the little dome glass for Beauty and the Beast. And we got a candle holder and some plastic silverware and made a little candelabra, whoever that's supposed to be, and I mean, it was cute. She had some cute stuff, and it wasn't near as expensive as it could have been had she had a planner come in and do it. But they had somebody that worked with us there, and we said this is what we want, and they pretty much set most of it up. There's a couple of things that they missed, but it wasn't anything that wrecked the wedding, So
Right.
Yeah, and then we got the hall. We got a slight discount on because it was. I worked for the Chickasaw Nation, and it was it wasn't owned by the Chickasaw Nation, but it was owned by a Chickasaw member, and so anybody that worked for the nation that rented the hall got a discount. And so we did that and it was a nice little place.
yeah. And they had the marquee outside where they would display the names of the movies. It was, Welcome to Kelly and Ryan or something like that. It had their names displayed up there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Neat.
and his oldest daughter did the photos at both of them. So, yeah, Jen, it was like we walked in. It was like, okay, this is it. This is, she just fell in love with it. The only thing that I wanted we didn't get was the what was it? Mimosas. They had some, but they didn't go with the flavor that I wanted. So, but that was the last thing I needed was liquor that night. I was busy and all over everywhere and burning up too. So, but it was a good little bit, And the thing is, you can have people spend $200,000-$300,000 and they don't stay married real long. And ours was probably $1,000. That included the dress and the cake and the church, the tux rental. And we're going on 36.
Yeah.
We're at 35 and a half. So You know,
Yeah.
best $100 investment my dad made to the church. He donated $100. Said, "Here, take her." We're done. So, but you know, you just see people they go out and they spin and they plan and plan and plan. And no offense, Jen, but she's planning and planning, and you know they've been together forever, so this ain't gonna change anything for them. But you have some that jump into it and spend so much money, and you know, just everything has to be perfect, and they become bridezillas and everything else, and then it doesn't even work out. You know, so
Yeah.
it's it could be very difficult. I wedding planning I could not do. You know, just putting up with the attitude. I'd be like, out of here.
They had a wedding planner there that was part of the package, which made it real nice. Because it's not like we had to go out and hire somebody separate. Everything was for the price of the hall that we paid for the hall. It included that, and so they had everything.
Yeah.
The only thing they didn't do was they didn't do the liquor. We had to go out and.
Well, Kelly had a friend that had something where they would come in and set up. So it was.
And then the bartender that worked was for tips, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was somebody that they knew that worked at a bar. So it wasn't like a company. It was an individual brought everything in, and I think they paid for the liquor for her to set up, and then to maybe renew her liquor license or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she just worked off the tips that, you know, that was given the night as people would order stuff. Jen, it says $200 to $400. Is that because it's for the whole week? Maybe that's why it's so much. Or she's saying it's $200 to $400 per tux.
Wow.
Wow.
And she said doing it on a cruise cuts down the price a lot. I mean,
Yeah. So how does that work? Like, you got to let the cruise line know, like, hey, we want a certain venue, or.
yeah, they have a planner on the ship, and they have certain. My understanding on this, they have certain rooms that they can hold it in, and depending on. Jen, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's one price if it's done in the ship in one of the rooms, and it's, you know, a higher price if it's done by the captain in one of those. So it could be done by one of the first officers, I think is what she's having done. And then it's more if it's the captain actually come in and do it. And, you know, and some of the things, I know if you go to another country, you legally get married here and go over there and it's just ceremonial. That it's not recognized if you're married in Spain or something and then come back here. It's like, no, you're a U.S. citizen, you know. So I think it's been a long time since I've looked into it, but I think that's what it is. And they have packages, and, you know, where you can decide, do you want cake? Do you not want a cake? Do you want, you know, us to do the decorations? Do you want to bring your own decorations? And, you know, basically, so they set up the room, set up the chairs, and have somebody there to answer questions and direct people where they need to be and make sure she's where she needs to be at the right time.
Huh. Sounds like they got it all figured out.
Yeah. Getting my hand on these because I'm talking. I know you guys from Mike will be on Costa Rica. Yeah, I haven't been to Costa Rica, so that would be nice to get to go there. You haven't been there, and it's for a wedding, so that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't been there either. And I've heard people say good things about it. So.
Oh, rental started at $189 for a Navy suit, and it was only $25 to extend it for the week. Oh, okay. I would have thought it would have been a lot more because you had it so long. Emily's quite excited to be going to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Different prices depending on the location and the day. So I guess you have like the day of, and I guess on our last when we went on, they had actual wedding party, and they got on before the diamonds and the suites. So they let them on, I guess, probably get them situated and get them to the wedding, you know, to the wedding venue or whatever, and then they let the diamonds and suites and everybody else on at that point. So
Yeah.
she said to having Juneau on the glacier started at I'm sorry, I have my glasses. They say $5,000.
5,000. Yeah.
But then they'd have to take a helicopter to stop the glacier. And then at that point, you wouldn't have your family and friends there with you either. So,
Yeah, who needs them?
So,
wow.
in the wedding dress, in the helicopter. Oh,
So
that would have been something.
the groom's not supposed to see the bride before the wedding. So do they have to take 2 helicopters? Is that what?
Ooh, well, just put a blindfold.
Oh, yeah, that could
There
work.
you go.
Have him get in first with the blindfold, then her. Oh, that, okay.
That's right.
Since we opted it for a sea day so people could still have fun on the cruise and not take away from the cruising experience. Well, I mean, people going on that realize it's for the wedding, and, you should do what you want. And I'll take this wrong for the rest of the people, but, if it's a problem, don't go. No, but it's good that it sounds like she's got quite a few friends and family going that are signing up. So that's all. Hey, priority boarding. So that means we get to
selling point
for the diamonds. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much she has told people, so I'm not going to say much more. I'm in on a little bit of it. So, but I mean, everything she does, it always turns out nice. So I have no doubt that it's going to, that there's going to be not going to be problems, and it's going to go off that hitch, and it's going to look great.
Yeah, I
6
think
people in a helicopter, depending on weight. Well, that means I would stay back. It's flat at the top of the glacier.
there you go.
Pack your boots. Yeah, I have some. Wore them through the forest and hated myself the next morning. So.
Well, sounds like it's going to be a good, good wedding. It's on a cruise in Alaska. I mean, what more could you ask for?
The best part is it's a summer cruise in Alaska, so it won't be miserable. We just went to Cozumel and Costa Maya, and you shake your head. Oh, it wasn't bad. You were underwater. I was not. It was
Just one day.
horrible.
Just one day.
One goal. Just one goal. I'm sorry if you haven't seen that movie. It's really cute. Was it One Goal to Win or something like that?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of, I don't want to say a bunch of nobodies. It's not real famous people, but it's really cute. So
Yeah.
Social media, pack your boots. So others have said, yeah, definitely take your boots. Even though it's in June, you might take a light jacket, even though it's not April 25th. Haha. Have to make. Yeah. That would be wrapped around your neck. So is that part of your clothing? If it's not really, you're not wearing them and it's not in a bag, would that count as a carry-on? Because now your pillows count as a carry-on.
Oh, wow.
We talked the other night, I don't know if you heard, Southwest is going to, where you have to pick your seat now instead of the open seating.
Oh, yeah. I heard somebody on the radio talking about that.
Yeah, not happy about that. I mean,
Well,
because that means the price is going to go up, and then they're going to start charging for bags and everything like all the other airlines, because that's what people want. Nobody wants to pay more.
no, but if you look at it, probably what they saw was look at all the people that were having to have priority boarding. You had these people that were paying to get on first, to be in the first group, but then you had anywhere from 18 to 20 to, I mean, that one flight, it was like 10 minutes worth of people that wheelchairs, and I mean, and then you had people that were
Kids.
didn't look, I mean, they were walking around just fine. So
Oh, yeah.
they were going on, supposedly because they were disabled or whatever. And so the airline probably looked at hey, well, let's start doing, I mean, if they need to go on first, then let's start charging them and make some extra money.
Yeah.
And there you go. It's about the money.
Well, not only that, it stops them from doing it. I mean, because if you really don't need to get on there, you're just doing it to be doing it. Are you really going to pay an extra $30 just so you can get?
That one lady sat there in a wheelchair for like an hour, and then she jumped up and ran over somewhere and grabbed something. Literally ran. to get something and then ran back and sat down in her wheelchair so they could wheel her down the aisle. I mean, they were asking me, I had a cast on my arm, and they asked me if I needed a wheelchair, and I was like, no, I'm good. And I said, did I go this way? And she goes, well, it's 29 gates if you want to go this way, or you can go up the escalator and catch the tram. She's only one gate. And I was like, elevator it is, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't need a wheelchair for an arm and a cast.
Yeah, I've seen people do that on the cruise ship too, because I've seen people, out on the dance floor all week long, running around, and then the last day, you see them in a wheelchair, getting wheeled down. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean, I might walk on, but if I was dancing for a Lido every day, I'd have to have a wheelchair.
Good point.
We got off out of the training at noon on Thursday, and our flight didn't go out until Friday morning, or early Friday morning. And the lady I went and hung out with, her watch quit working at 14,000 steps. And then we went back to the hotel. I had to change because it was 114 degrees in Nevada. So changed clothes, cleaned up, and went back out again. And she said we did at least probably 18,000 steps. And I'm like, I do like 20. I go from my house to my car, from my car to the office, because where I work, I'm sitting all day for 12 hours. And I get up and I go back to my car and I walk back in the house. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed so I can do it again tomorrow. And so thanks for killing me.
I guess Emily's got a question.
Yes, I would take a light jacket and probably tennis shoes. It might be muddy, if they have storms come through. So hiking boots might be okay to take. I would just kind of the day of see. I mean, I only wore them because we were there in April, and I was like, I had on this windbreaker thingy with a hood, and I had a toboggan and gloves, and I was out of those in less than an hour because I was hot. And I just, unzipped the jacket, but I was comfortable in that in April. Yeah. But I was climbing through the, Tongass National Forest.
Oh, yeah.
And watching out for Burr. And then we got back, and I forget what we did. Oh, we went to whale watching, so that was kind of cool. I put my hat back on and zipped it up all the way, but I still didn't pull the hood up over this. And I was a little cool, but I wasn't cold, so I would definitely sweatshirts, not even maybe a hoodie if it's going to be a cold day or if it's going to be rainy that day.
That's what I was going to say is bring a hoodie, light jacket or something. If you're going in the summer up there, if you're going in like April or September, maybe a little bit heavier.
I think she's going in June. If I remember.
Yeah.
When we were there in April, I was wearing the shirt that I had is kind of made out of it almost looks like a jean material, but I don't know that it is. But sure, it's kind of looks like that. It was long sleeve, and then I had a flannel shirt that was insulated. I don't think I ever zipped that thing up, or I may have once or twice.
When we were walking
But
around,
that was it.
Ketchikan, it was a little cool, and I think he had it zipped up there. But I mean, it was zipped up chest level. It wasn't all the way up to your neck, So.
And it wasn't bad at all. And then if you get there and find out that you need something a little heavier, a lot of the stores. I mean, we found some really nice jackets that were fairly inexpensive. I got what would you call that jacket?
Insulated. It was a thin insulated jacket.
Well, it's waterproof.
Yeah,
it's made out of. I mean, it was $49.
Was it 49? 39
or 39, something like that. Anyway, it was
less than 50. I mean, the suitcase we bought was more, and that was just one of those little canvas tote with wheels things. So, but you get there and you buy all the souvenirs, and you can't get it home, so it got you over a barrel for that. Jennifer, I don't know that there was a lot of bugs in the forest. Didn't really see anything.
No.
Bears, they were just coming out of hibernation, he said, and would probably be hungry, and he'd throw himself in front of the crowd so that we wouldn't get eaten. But
We didn't see anything.
no snakes. They said it's too cold up there for snakes. Yeah, I don't remember mosquitoes or anything, and being back there in the woods and stuff.
No.
And usually I'm like main course when it comes to mosquitoes and stinging things.
Well, even when we were having that meal outside, that seafood thing, there weren't any flies or nothing
Mm-mm.
buzzing around that.
No, it was, what was it, a shrimp boil,
Shrimp boil.
crab boil, whatever you call it, where they dump out shrimp and crab and potatoes and
Corn
sausage.
and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had no problem with bugs. I mean, we were right there out in the open on the lake and nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was up there about the same time, and I remember somebody was asking about the bears, but the naturalist was telling us that, you know, they were more than likely still in hibernation, or even if some of them might have come out, might have been a few, they're probably going to just stick close. You know, they're going to get something quick to eat. You know, they're not going to be traipsing too far. Hopefully.
I mean, I would have been fast food for them because I wasn't running anywhere, especially in them boots. I mean, some people came through and they had, you know, like German Shepherds and it wasn't the Alaskan Malamute, but, you know, some big dogs. Golden Retriever. I mean, one lady came through and she had 3 very large dogs. I was like, well, she's going to be safe out here by herself. But, you know, I mean, they would go after something like that probably before they would a human. I don't know.
I'm just wondering if they're going to open up that White Pass Railroad for the rest of the year, or because, you know, how they had that rock slide that covered the tracks and the road.
In
And
Skagway.
yeah, up there in Skagway.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it looked like quite a bit of stuff. I mean, I'm thinking it might take the rest of the year just to get it back, you know, cleared off, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to believe nobody was hurt in that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on the good side of it, I guess.
Had that been California, somebody would have been covered in mud and been gone just because of the amount of people and traffic and stuff. So I guess that's kind of an advantage to living in a lesser populated area.
Yeah.
But
Then they had to ride the bus 6 hours to get to Haines, Alaska. Yep, I'm sure that was a lot of fun.
right. Was there a cruise in port when that happened?
Yeah, there was Holland America, the Konings Dam, and then there was some princess ship. I forget the name of it, but it's like 150 passengers got stuck, you know, on the train. So they had to go get a bunch of buses, load them up, and then drive them. So they had to go like the long way around to get to Haines, and they said it took like almost 6 hours.
Oh wow.
They got there at like 4 a.m, and then get off the bus, go down to the pier, get on tenders, and then the ship was out there waiting, and so they just tendered them back out.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And I
I
guess
didn't hear about all that.
the one lady was saying that they stopped somewhere, some small town, like halfway, I guess, and they didn't really have like any food or anything. They like emptied out the vending machines and gave them like the snacks and stuff. And it's crazy.
Wow. Well, I heard about the slide, but I didn't, you know, either heavily medicated, asleep, or work, or traveling. So I just saw it on the news. You know, the header going across there. It was in Skagway, so I didn't know that no one was hurt. So that was all I really knew about it. So that's crazy. I hope that was a cruise line excursion they were on.
Well, see, that made me think about it because when I went in April, we had a rock slide, because we got to, because you get to the halfway point and it kind of curves back around and then you start heading. Well, we made it to that halfway point and the train stopped and we were sitting there for 5 or 10 minutes, and then they made an announcement. The tour guide made an announcement, and she was like, "Yeah, just to let you know what's going on. There was a rock slide, and there's some rocks covering the tracks, and we sent for the maintenance train to come up." And so they have like another train that's basically just got like a flatbed with a backhoe or something on it. And so we had to sit there for like 30, 45 minutes, and they got it cleared off, and then we headed back. So when I saw that story, I was like, man, that could have been me out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could have been ugly.
I'm just thankful nobody was hurt. That's just crazy.
Yeah. It's timing.
You're right.
Scott, the jungle's a no unless somebody's marrying Tarzan.
Right.
I mean, we don't know what,
Well,
happened to Jen and Andrew House.
Did you hear any more on that couple or the family that got left? The family of 9 from Oklahoma?
Mm.
Yeah, I think you actually had mentioned something about it first, about a family.
oh, they were in Ketchikan, and they were seeing the lumberjack show.
Now, was that actually one of their excursions, or did they do that separately? Because
I think the way it sounded to me, it didn't really necessarily say, but it sounded to me like they booked it through the cruise, but it was the vendor's fault. But since they had booked it through the cruise, and so that way they were kind of covered. That's why they were getting refunded and all that.
okay, yeah, because I mean we saw that they had the story on the news here, and they really didn't say anything. They were just talking about how they were left, how it was the vendor's fault, and how they got billed.
Right.
But they didn't say anything about them getting reimbursed, and so that's why I was wondering. Well, I wonder if they went through the cruise line or if this was something outside the cruise line?
I forget which cruise line it was, but they released a statement saying that they were going to get refunded the money for the fines, and then for like the travel from Ketchikan back to Tulsa, they were going to get reimbursed for that. They just needed to wrap up all their receipts, send the receipts in, and then they would get, and then they were also going to get, refunded for the portion of the cruise that they missed, and then they were also going to get like a 20% future cruise credit.
Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of weird how they didn't send I mean, the ship should have known that they weren't on there.
Right.
Yeah, but they can only wait so long and they get fined.
Well, the tour operator, from what I heard, was they weren't like when the buses were outside, like they were just letting anybody on. They weren't checking tickets. And so people just saw it and they thought it was a free ride back to the ship, and they were just doing a straight head count. They weren't counting tickets, and that's how they got left behind. And then they lied to them and said, "Oh yeah, there's going to be another bus coming." And so they waited, and that's kind of how they got messed out of that.
Mm.
They called the port authority, but by then I guess like the ship was practically already leaving by that point, because when they said when they got to the pier, the ship was already like gone pretty much.
Wow.
Well, I wonder, did the cruise line reimburse them, or is that vendor going to have to reimburse them? And it probably cost them a lot more, because I bet they're not a vendor next year.
Yeah, that'll affect that, I'm sure. I bet you the vendor probably had to kick in something to the cruise line, I bet.
Well, they may pay it up front and then turn around and go after the vendor, but chance of them getting anything out of them because it's, it's small and it's Alaska and they probably don't have a lot to take.
But to answer Emily's question there, from the article that I saw, I think it was just like a few hours, because I think because they do like, I think 2 runnings for the train. They do like a morning and the afternoon. I think they were on the afternoon one, and it took, it happened right around 5 o'clock or so, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I'm guessing it was 3 or 4 hours, however long it took them to get the buses up there.
Wow.
Well, I know there was one of the excursions that I did. It was like we were supposed to be back on the ship at 3:30, and their plan was to have us back at 4. And we're like, no, we have to be back by 3:30. And they got us there at like 3:29. They're like, I'm not a pier runner, so I was a slow pier walker going, I'm here.
Yeah.
But
well, and then there's that one that not the one we took out of California, where we did the Rhythm of the Nights.
Oh, that was
came back.
Yeah, that was Panorama.
Yeah, we were actually. They take you out to an island that's about 30 minutes out, and then put you through. You get to watch a show and have dinner and stuff, and then they bring you back. Well, we were on our way back, and the ship's blowing the horn, and I guess they had called that company and said, "Hey, you need to get these people back."
Yeah.
And as they were pulling into the port, we were real close to the ship, but even the captain of the boat, or the guy that was driving the boat was saying, "Yeah, apparently the captain's not happy. He needs you guys to make sure he's called us and asked us to tell you to go straight back to the ship."
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't collect $200. Don't pass go. Just get there.
I didn't see where we were late, but it was cut. Yeah, it was cutting it close, but according to our watches and stuff like that, we still had, a good 20, 30 minutes before it was time for us to be back on the ship. But maybe they were wanting to leave early or something. I don't know.
With that many people, though, they probably
were starting to worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good excursion, though. I enjoyed it. It was hot. Oh my God, it was hot out there because you're in a forest and there was no circulation. We had people dropping like flies. Medical was all over the place.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
Was it Mazatlan?
No. Puerto Vallarta?
That sounds right.
Yeah, because we went through the first time we did the Panorama. We were there during the day, and then when we took the second time, it went through there in the evening. So we were able to go to the Rhythm of the Nights, and it's musical. I'm not a musical fan, but it was a musical. Yeah. It was, I don't want to say gymnastics, but they did like fire and
it's kind of like Aztec type dancing and ceremonies and stuff like that. Yeah. It was really good. And it was more like, I thought it was more like a jungle type setting, but they had the seating and stuff like that. And the trees and stuff like that were so thick that there wasn't really any wind able to get through.
Yeah.
And so it was real muggy and stuffy. And the show hadn't even started yet. And there was 2 people that they had to call medical to come and help because they were getting overheated or over heat exhaustion or something.
Yeah. It was bad. But then, once the show was over, you had to kind of climb up a hill to get back out of there. And then dinner was, it wasn't on the beach, but you could see the beach from where it was. Oh. So, it was very nice. I don't remember what they had. We sat there and ate dinner, and you could look out where we were sitting. You could look out and between a few trees and actually see the ocean. So it was a very nice location. It was very pretty. Food was decent. It was good. It wasn't anything to write home about, but just the whole experience was definite. If you go Long Beach to Puerto Vallarta, that's if you like that kind of thing. It was, and like I said, I'm not much into musicals, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then the because of where we were and the timing, we got to see the sunset because we didn't get back into they didn't get us actually back until after dark.
Yeah.
And so we were able to watch the sunset and everything like that while we were driving back. I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the boat hand and the deck hands, they were what, ZZ Top?
Yeah.
Doing songs and dancing and everything, dressed up and had the big heeled boots and I mean the whole nine. It was fun, you know.
Sounds
Great atmosphere the whole way. So I mean that would definitely be a do again, I think, if we were to go back there.
It was worth it.
I was real disappointed the first time we went and they said, well, we're not going to be there in time for it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So that second, as soon as I found out it was available, man, I'm like booking. Are you going? I'm going. Are you going? You gonna go dive? Or am I going by myself? And,
Right.
well,
I think
I don't know
that
what
was
happened with the dive. So.
if I'm not mistaken, that was the first ship we were on where they actually changed times. They had us at one point set our clocks back an hour, and then on the way back they had us set them forward or vice versa.
Yeah, because when we came down the coast of Mexico, we kind of came into the central time zone. Was it central or mountain? And then, well, as we came back up, we changed it back to California.
And we just thought that was weird
Pacific
because of
time.
all the other ships we had been on, even though the time was different where we were setting, putting into port, we stayed on ship's time, which was Galveston time.
Galveston or Florida, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then this one, it was kind of like, oh, wow, we're changing time. Okay, well, I mean, this is a first.
and we had people actually get kind of snotty with us. You don't change time. You stay on. Beg to differ. This we did, and if you stayed on, ship's time or port time from California, you're gonna miss the boat. And then so,
Yeah,
those
because we were
trans ones, gosh, Trans-Pacific, Trans-Atlantic. How many times have we changed time zones?
Oh, I don't know.
Seems like it was a lot more than what we actually crossed, but
Yeah.
7 days in a row we were jumping forward an hour or something.
Yeah, that was the hardest one. I think that was worse than going from here to Brisbane and trying to get used to their time. Every day, once we left Okinawa, every night or every morning at 2 a.m., you would set your clock forward an
Not in
hour.
Okinawa. It was
No,
northern
when
Japan.
we left Japan.
Yeah, Okinawa was our first stop. It was
Right, but
Otoro.
once we left Japan, our last stop in Japan, which was Otoro.
Yeah, or no. Anyway, it was at the top of it.
Yeah, and then started our track to Alaska every night, and which was like 7 days. So every night you had to set your clock forward.
Yeah.
Shows and everything were still at the same time. So it's like, it was 9 a.m., 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m.
Right.
Your body clock, you're like 3 a.m. So we went to a couple of the naturalist shows, and I'm sitting on the second row like, felt so bad.
Yeah, because it was at 9 o'clock, but we're
9 o'clock ship time.
9 o'clock ship time, but
Body was like, it's 3
5
a.m.
5 or 4 body time.
Yeah.
She was very good. It was just me. I just almost spilt my coffee. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I booked a Disney cruise, and that was pricey. And I mean, just for an interior for a 4-day, it was 26 or 2,700.
Yikes.
Wow.
And there's no gambling on those ships.
No gambling. They have bingo, and there's no drink package either. So you got to pay for your drinks individually. So
I guess that's because it's more family.
which I mean, I guess they don't want the heavy party crowd, I guess,
Right.
kids, but getting in fights with Pluto or Daffy Duck or something.
Spin that bill all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would never have went on a Disney cruise, but my sister and her family, they're big Disney people, and they wanted to, they wanted to go on a cruise, and I tried to talk them out of it, like, well, we go Carnival or Royal, but no, they were set on Disney, so this will probably be my one and only cruise on that.
Our youngest said that's the only way she'd go is if we did Disney, and we're like, oh, I want to do Disney. I mean, she's a very big Disney fanatic, and I like Stitch, and I can handle some Mickey. Some of the movies I'm okay with, but
all right,
I just can't see paying. And so we start pointing out, okay, well, you have this like $2,300 for 4 days. We can go on Carnival for 7 days, 10 days. We got 14 days coming, and it's $290 total. I get same 3 squares a day. I get snacks. I get the different ports. I get all this for $2,000 less and more days, and she still just can't. No, and then once we finally said, all right, well, we'll look at it, then it was like, oh, I don't want to go on a cruise. Okay, well, make up my mind.
Yeah.
But Jennifer says you can carry your beer on the cruise. So
yeah, I've been doing my research on it, and so you can do a 6-pack of beer each port or 2 bottles of wine. So I may look into that.
So can you do both? Is it like a case of sodas?
It says or. Well, either the 2 bottles of wine or the 6-pack of beer, but you can do 6-pack of beer on embarkation day, and then another 6-pack at Nassau, and of course the other one's Castaway Cay. So I guess I'd only have two shots at it. But.
Yeah, I don't know how that is, but that Carnival private port. Oh Lord have mercy!
Yeah.
Do not buy the beer that they bring out to you.
Well, you can buy the beer, just don't buy it in the little cooler that they sell with it. It's a cheap insulated cooler, and they make like, oh, well, we'll have it full of ice and this, that, and the other thing. You get a 6-pack of beer. It's in this nice cooler. It stays cool.
Now, order the same thing prior to the cruise, and it's delivered to your room for $35.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
On the private island, it's how much?
$95.
Whoa.
For a 6-pack of beer.
I don't remember him telling us the price of it. We just assumed it would be the same as if you got it on the ship. Maybe a little bit of gratuity. But my word, we got the bill. We went, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, we won't be doing this again.
I mean, you do you.
I mean, I'm not saying that we wouldn't be going to the beach, but we wouldn't be ordering that setup again.
No. I mean, if you want to do it, just we giving people a heads up. That's what's going to happen. You won't be shocked like we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the glass. I had to buy some sunglasses because something happened in the pier, or at the cruise terminal at the beginning, and I'm like, oh God! Threw my head back like being a Karen. My sunglasses went flying off my head, and so the piece that goes under here.
Yeah.
Broke and the lens popped out. There was no coming back from that. So I just picked them up, put them in the trash. So we get there, we're going to be in the sun all day, right? So I buy some glass. I wouldn't say they were cheap sunglasses, but they were flimsy. And $28 for these sunglasses. Freaking left them in the Nevada airport.
Oh.
Because they didn't have the tubs where you put all your junk in to go through the scanner.
Oh,
they just had the little bowls like you have on the cruise ship.
Right.
And so I put my purse in there, and then I tried to balance my phone and the glasses on top of my purse, and that didn't work. So I tried to put it under, and that didn't work. So I got a second when I put my phone and my glasses. When it came out, my phone was with my purse, but the glasses weren't. And I don't know what happened somewhere. Maybe they got knocked off, but how did my phone end up with my purse? Because I have some like Bluetooth, like a neckband thing that has the earpieces that dangle.
Yeah.
That I always lose an earpiece, right? I forgot about that. And they're like, man, that has to run through. I've gone through so many times they never caught me. Not intentional. I just forgot about it, trying to get everything in the little bowls. And so then they took it, they ran it through. So I waited for them. I got that. I thought, I'm missing something. Get to the shuttle escalator because it's only one gate, right? I go that way. I'm on the little shuttle. There, stand clear of the doors. The doors are closing, and I'm like, my sunglasses. So they're gone. So not happy about that. Overpriced sunglasses too, and that's what I did.
That sucks.
Yeah. Looked at Disney for the wedding. I mean, who would do the ceremony? Goofy?
Well, maybe you could have, you'd have your choice of the character, I guess, Darth Vader or
That would have been cool.
Klinger.
or Iron Man or something like that.
Well, technically, Klinger's a Disney princess.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that little meme on Facebook about Klinger from MASH.
Oh,
Is technically a Disney princess.
The first Disney princess, wasn't it?
No,
he was from the 50s.
Well, they weren't. He wasn't. The show or whatever wasn't owned by Disney that back then.
Wow.
wow.
Oh goodness, he's something else.
Something about whoever owns the rights to MASH was purchased by Disney, so they're saying technically that makes Klinger a Disney princess.
Could be.
Yeah. He's something else.
Yeah.
Then I booked on an MSC cruise out of Galveston, and that was significantly cheaper. I mean,
Yeah.
When is that going out?
4 more days?
November next year. November of 25. I think it's like November 9th or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I saw that, and I've been wanting to try MSC, so I figured that'd be a good opportunity.
Yeah.
So nice is coming to Galveston.
Yeah, it's November 9th. But yeah, that was way cheaper. So I was happy to see that.
Yeah. So,
I booked the NCL Jewel out of Philadelphia. It's a 9-day cruise going to Bermuda. So that's in 2026.
I hadn't even thought to look that far out yet.
we're gonna get some offers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were supposed to go to the Czech Republic next year, and I can't miss the wedding. I mean,
No, I understand.
I've been at everything that, from since she was born to high school, associates, bachelor's, master's, child, great niece's birth. I wasn't at the birth. I was there right after she came home from the hospital. So I just kind of feel like I need to be at that. And it's being cool and let me go.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
She wants to know when in 2026.
It is
Sure.
August 27th, 2026. It's a 9-night Bermuda. They got a bunch of 7-night on the same ship leaving out of Philly, also to Bermuda. But I picked that one because you get 2 nights in Bermuda on the 9-day, and then you get an overnight in Charleston, South Carolina for some reason. But to me, I just wanted to get those 3 days in Bermuda. Plus, I thought it'd be kind of cool to go out of Philly because that's something unusual.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting in South Carolina because Carnival's pulling out of there because they don't want the noise and the pollution and everything else there.
Apparently,
They want their money.
NCL is going to be hitting it up. I think it was probably a money play. Kick Carnival out and see if someone else offers them some more money.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Nah.
Aw. I got you.
So sweet.
I try. It just doesn't come through very often.
We can always plan to go to the Czech Republic in 26.
Yeah, that's why I hadn't really thought about. I mean, this other offer, it was unlimited drinks, anywhere on the ship, 14 days for $290. And so we're like,
That's
okay.
it.
I mean, it was on the Spirit coming out of Barcelona.
Well, what's weird is they didn't charge. I guess that's taxes and stuff like that. I didn't see where they charged for gratuities or.
I'm sure the gratuities will be extra, but that 90 would be the port fees and taxes and port fees and stuff. I know they've changed how they do all of it. I just
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
Yeah. Because I looked at another one. I came across just for curiosity. I went and looked at the one coming out of Barcelona on the same ship, and it had the room and everything, and then it said, gratuities and this, that, and other thing. I was like, well, I don't remember seeing that on your offer. When you checked out.
Well, I just put down the $200 deposit.
Yeah, but the total after you got done with everything wasn't it like 600 and something, and then $200 onboard credit?
It was like $490.
Oh, it was $4.
Yeah, because I put 2 down, and I think I still owe $290 on it.
So I was just wondering if they charge gratuities. Kind of like,
Well, I have to go get my phone and look. Probably should be observing that and not be caught at the last minute.
might be a good idea.
Yes. Yeah, I like those. I like those Journeys cruises. That's for sure. After doing that one to Alaska, that's like my new thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna be lost. You get off after 4 days and go, "Where's the rest of my cruise?"
Yeah.
Have to jump on another one.
Yeah, I'm doing that 4-day on the Utopia, and then I'm doing that 4-day on Disney. But I've got the big trip coming up here in like 2 weeks to Thailand. That one crept up on me a lot quicker. Trying to get my mind right for that 15.5-hour flight,
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna have to like get up and start doing jumping jacks or something.
Well,
Run
I
up and
mean,
down the aisle.
it's an overnight. You sleep through a lot of it, and that'll help.
Yeah, the flight leaves here at 1:30 in the morning. So I'm sure I'll be wore out.
Yuck.
Yeah, none of ours left quite that late.
I think we got on at like 11. But it was just like chaos in that airport. So
Yeah. Yeah, we were beginning to wonder if we were even going to catch that flight out because everybody was talking about how the night before they had canceled it.
Yeah.
And then,
didn't some plane bump into another plane or something like that?
yeah,
So,
and it caused damage to the tail section, and so they ended up having to cancel it, and they didn't know if they were going to be able to have it ready for the night that we were leaving. And I was like, well, that's kind of nice to know. I mean, nobody bothered to tell us. Here we are waiting for the counters and stuff to open so we can check in, and a lot of the people were from the night before talking about how the plane got canceled and stuff, and they weren't sure if it was going to run tonight or not. It's like, great.
and I'm more thinking plane's damaged and you want me to get on it.
Yeah, they got duct tape.
Right.
Well, as long as they give me some free drinks or something, throw me a couple extra bags of peanuts. Yeah, I'm ready for the heat. Of course, right now is the rainy season too, so
Oh, mosquitoes.
yeah, I got to get ready for both of those. I just booked my hotel a few days ago, so finally got that nailed down.
That's cool. That'd be a nice place, an interesting place to go visit.
Yeah, like I said, Jack, it's hot. How's your trip? It's hot. Okay, Jack. And he went, I think he goes in the cooler season. So, but he's actually from Thailand. So, but he's lived here so long, he's probably not used to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be different than cruising, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you start hitting that rough weather.
Yeah.
But one, that first one, was it Hawaiian Airlines that we had some pretty rough weather? Brisbane.
Maybe. I think it was rougher coming back into Oklahoma last night.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
I turned and looked at the guy that was sitting at the end of my row. I was like, are we going to make it?
Yeah, I try to keep the practice good window shutter etiquette. Because I always get the window seat. So if I see people complaining about the sun poking through, I'll pull it down a little bit or something.
Yeah.
But I got an aisle seat this time because normally I'm pretty obsessed with getting that window seat, but I figure 15 and a half hours, I'm gonna have to get up. There's no way I can, I can't hold it for 15 and a half hours.
No, that's for sure. Especially if they're bringing you all sorts of stuff to drink, and
Right.
I'm sure they'll be feeding you some food and stuff on that.
Yeah,
More than just peanuts.
The downside is I'll have to get up, like for the people that are in the window and all that. I'll have to keep getting up for all of that. But I figured that was just the best choice for me,
Yeah, and you may get lucky. Maybe only one person will sit with you, or because we had that one flight where there was, I think it was from Hawaii, and there was one lady that had the whole. It was her and 3 other seats that were empty, so she just laid down and slept the whole way.
That's nice. That's nice. I know my luck, though. It'll be a jam-packed flight. There'll be some newborn babies crying right next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, Scott. I'll see if I bring you back some tea. So I don't know, though. I don't know if Customs is going to allow that. But I'll try it.
Yeah, that's definitely something to check, because you don't want to wind up like our cheese episode.
Yeah. So it's a total $600 on board credit. It shows $219 cruise charge, $100 cruise fare, $119.56 required cruise fees and expenses, $80.44 for government taxes and fees. So I'm guessing that required cruise fees and expenses are probably your port fees and all that. They've changed how they list it all now, so it doesn't really say. So
Yeah. Oh,
it's still not a bad deal though for 14 days.
yeah, definitely check with Customs and stuff to make sure what you can and can't bring out.
Yeah. Oh, it's coffee. For some reason, I thought it was tea. I guess he was wanting some coffee. So. I got you. I'll look into it one way or the other.
Yeah, because we didn't think the cheese would be that big of a deal, but it ended up getting
But it had bacon in it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the bacon that was in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad we went ahead and declared it, just to be on the safe side. And I'm not even sure why. Was it because it asked any dairy products, and you'd ask me, well, does cheese count? Or I forgot what it was. Do I need to count the cheese? And I was like, I don't know, but go ahead and do it anyway. What's the worst I can do? Say, take it. And
Which they did.
Well, at least
not doing those exchanges anymore.
At least you didn't have a Coach Cruz episode. Man, I'd have been so upset over that with the passport situation.
oh yeah,
Man,
of passports.
Yeah.
I mean, flying all the way there, go to check in on the cruise, and they're like, no, you got to go back home. I mean, that I would have been livid. I mean, there's not much you can do, but it's
Yeah,
crazy.
because I mean, doesn't it say date from the day of the cruise, or does it specifically state from the day the cruise ends?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I guess apparently he talked to somebody, and supposedly when he put his information in, because you know how like you got to put that stuff in
Mhm.
on the website. Supposedly, it's supposed to catch it. You know what I mean, and flag it and say, hey, your passport's going to be expiring, or it's going to be within 6 months, or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know if that means he's going to be getting any kind of refund or anything, but
Wow.
still,
I think people don't realize is, with the COVID shutdown, they let a lot of people go, and then they're having to repopulate all the, the call takers and stuff. And I'm sure they're working from home still, and I'm sure they have not had the training that they need to be able to answer those questions. And there's several things that, like the last time we called them, she couldn't answer the questions on so, and even the time change on the first Australian trip, she had no idea how to answer that. And we were trying to figure out what time it would be based off of where we were compared to ship time, and everything she said with your ship time will remain the same the whole time. For 33 days, 31 days, no. So I mean, they were just going off of that every ship going out of Galveston, no matter where it goes, stays on Galveston time, Central Time. But there's several times I've had to call and they didn't have the answers. So
yeah.
Or they give the wrong information.
yeah.
It was like when we were trying to get off in Hawaii, they kept telling us, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. But everybody else was telling us we could, but Carnival was saying, no, you can't. We even we even sent John a deal, and he said, well, why are you wanting to get off? And we told him just because we want to stay there for a couple of days and visit. We've never been there. No, you can't do that.
Remember, people did that. They got off in Tokyo and didn't get back on until Amore or whatever, 4 or 5 days later, spent the whole time in Japan. And we were port sea day, but
Huh.
I mean, I don't know, and I get, he probably said that because they don't want everybody doing that, but wouldn't that be cheaper for the cruise line because they're not having to feed you for those 4 days? And in our case, it was the 3 days that we got off, or 7 total days that we weren't on the ship. We still paid the same that everybody else paid. But
I don't know.
Uncle Dave, welcome in.
Hi, Uncle
Hey,
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I get, the closed loop and all that, maybe trying to explain the difference and everything, and just across the board, no, you can't do it. Well, I mean, there's been a couple of things that I've reached out and asked him and not been given, I don't want to say the truth. That's kind of harsh, but find out the answer is different than what I was told. How about that? And then when we asked about the diving, I don't remember what his excuse was. Then we find out it's no, because they were the insurance. It was a problem with the insurance. Carnival not wanting to pay that because somebody got hurt on a dive, or I don't know.
Yeah, there was a huge lawsuit. And it didn't have anything to do with Carnival, but it had to do with the underwriter for the scuba insurances and stuff like that ended up dropping them.
Huh.
I mean, if that's the case, then just say you must have the Dan or the Patty insurance in order to, and prove that you have it before you sign up for it.
Yeah, because I mean,
before you get off the ship. And if you say you have it and you get there and you don't, well, then you lose your excursion money.
Yeah, because I mean, we got travel insurance, which should cover anything. But then on top of that, I go through Dan and have divers accidental insurance. You know, in case something happens on the dive, you know, so I'm kind of double covered. But
Eat by a shark or something.
at least with Dan, they'll replace my equipment, whatever I lose.
Right.
Whereas I don't know that the trip insurance through the company that we have, if the excursion is covered, and if it is, I don't know if the equipment's covered. So for a little bit next to nothing, I get that other insurance that I know I'm covered, as well as my equipment in the event something happens.
Yeah.
Because that equipment's not cheap.
That'd be a good trip right there.
The Philippines, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
that would be cool.
I guess Thailand just changed their visa requirements and all that, because I guess it was like you could get 30 days just on your passport. You didn't need a visa, but now I guess they extended it out to 60 days. So you can go there 60 days just on your passport. So, I mean, not that means I'm going to be staying any longer, but
Right.
for the future.
Do you have a direct flight, or do you have any layovers anywhere? Because you have to worry about them layover locations too.
Yeah, I fly from Houston to Taiwan, and then I believe it's a 2-hour layover in Taiwan, and then it's like a little bit shy of 4 hours, about 3.5 from there down to Bangkok.
Okay, we didn't have to have a visa going into Japan, so you should be fine there. But
Yeah,
where's that? Not Amsterdam. Where was it that people were going on the way to Australia? It was like they landed in the airport and then left. It was just a layover, and you still had to have a visa
oh wow,
because you entered their country.
right.
I can't remember where it was at. It starts with a V, didn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
We didn't go that way, so we didn't have to worry about it. But we had to have travel insurance, had to show proof of travel insurance, and it wasn't. I don't think the Carnival insurance was good enough. And then come back and said, "Oh yeah, you could have just had that." Okay, well thanks. We've already spent several $100s on this external insurance because everybody was saying the Carnival insurance wouldn't work for Fiji.
Right.
And then they're like, "Oh no, just as long as you show you have proof." All right, but we were not getting emails that told us anything. Everything was, people were talking about it, and then we'd have to go and look it up. I mean, I've never been out of the country like that, so I didn't know where to go and what to ask to try to get the information. But we didn't get anything until like 6 weeks before the trip, and we got an email that said, "Make sure you have all this." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Uncle Dave.
Yeah, I find a lot of information out through the Facebook groups,
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you're right. I mean, sometimes they're not very forthcoming with the info.
Yeah, I think that's how we found out that we needed a visa for Fiji. We got to reading something, and I was just like, what? We better check into this. And then so we started checking for all the other ports and found out that Fiji was the only one that we needed one. No,
we had to have the insurance for them. We had to have a visa for Australia.
Yeah. And then found out that you could apply for it online, and it only takes a few minutes. And so we went to that website. So it was kind of, I mean, it was real. Those Facebook groups can be very helpful.
Yeah. As long as they can stay on track. And, I mean, people get on there and get hateful. And, just like the one, I mean, she was just downright getting mean, saying that the times don't change. And we were like,
yeah,
been there, done it. Yes, it does. For the most part, no. But something like this, it does. And
right.
It just, when you have those people, behind the keyboard that just
troll.
Well, there's that, and then they're a lot meaner than they would be in person because you can't see them, and there's no, nothing like that. So it's a whole lot easier.
Sometimes they'll put information out. Like some people on the Facebook groups, they'll they'll put some wrong information out just because they think it's funny.
Yeah.
They'll do that. And so you got to watch out for that sometimes.
And I've answered some of the people that were asking the question initially and said, hey, if you have any other questions, just send me a private message so you don't have to do all this,
Right.
And, we've been on several cruises through Carnival. So I can't answer, NCL or Disney or any of that, but I can answer Carnival questions. As we found out majority of it. But I mean, if not, if I don't know the answer, I know where to go to look at it. And, I'll screenshot the page or something and send it to them and go, this is, it came off of Carnival's website. Here it is.
Right.
But sadly, people don't want to look for the information themselves beforehand, and they get on there and ask, and then you have the trolls that are, trying to be funny or want to be mean. And then it causes a lot more unnecessary stress and trouble. And,
Yeah, that's for sure.
just stop. If you're going to be like that, just stop. And you just want to tell the people. And if Jen and I ran a page, we were on the Freedom 18 or 19. I can't remember now. And I created the page and she helped me run it. And, if we saw somebody being like that, we just took them off the page. You're going to get on here and you're going to cause problems. We don't have time for that. So we still have 3 or 4 friends from that cruise that, we still talk to frequently. So.
Yeah. Carnival's good on this last cruise. They let us know right away. There was some port changes or port swaps or something right off the bat. And then we had that whole thing with the Canadian customs form we had to fill out, and which didn't really make any sense the way they did it, but I wasn't going to argue with it. I mean, because it's like you're filling out this form to say what you declare, but you haven't really bought anything. So, we had to turn it in before we even got to Canada. So I don't know. It was kind of weird the way the form was worded, because it was kind of asking you like what you were buying in Canada, or it's like, well, I got to turn it in before we even get there. So I'm not sure. I guess I could be psychic,
All right.
Maple syrup. That's all about it. Maple syrup.
I mean, I was just happy as long as I turn it in and people leave me alone, then.
Yeah.
I think we didn't realize that in Galveston they had done away with the forms because we didn't get any.
The TABC.
Yeah.
They just always have that lady that sits out there and asks you, like, you got anything to declare? And
yeah, we didn't even see
as
that.
you just say no and keep moving. It's not like I've never seen them like stop anybody.
Well, they used to give us forms that we had to fill out. How much, and if you're bringing in alcohol, how much, and, if you're bringing over this amount, this is how, up to this amount, tell us how much we owed if we were over the amount and this, that.
Yeah. And then they give you a sticker to put on the bottle
to show that you paid the taxes.
Right.
Yeah. And probably 95% of those stickers never made it on the bottle. So of course they came home and either it's still in our cabinet from 10 years ago or gave it to my daughter. And I'm sure she's finished it by now. So.
Yeah.
Good question, Uncle Dave. That's but again, I was just didn't want to make waves, and as long as they just kept the party going, I wasn't going to be a Karen about it.
Right.
I just know they had like a little box down in the atrium, and here, just make sure you put the form in the box.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, but I was just like, because like you said, I guess I'm supposed to be psychic or something and know what I'm going to be buying.
Well, the last several, they've been kind of repeat ports, and so we haven't bought anything. We got the tequila, but that was.
Well, we went to Prince Rupert, and there really wasn't nothing. They did have some vendors selling souvenirs, but I didn't really see anything that I wanted. I went on a little trolley for the tour, and once that was over, I just kind of walked around a little bit, and then I mean, the only thing that was there was like a casino, but the casino was closed for the season, and there was a museum, but you had to pay to go in it, and I think there was a small Walmart, Yeah, just put that on the form. Just be prepared to answer questions about it,
Right.
Oh.
Too late.
Too late. Yeah. Well, and Jennifer said Carnival's doing a new process. I mean, they're changing everything up, and
Yeah. I do like the debark on the app thing. That I think that's one of the best things that they've done, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, as long as you can keep the service, because a lot of people were having trouble on the Jubilee, and we couldn't get on the
For the Wi-Fi or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. And you also have to have the app up and running in order to get notified. If you don't have it up and running, and see, they don't tell you that. They just say, make sure you download the app and you'll be notified. Okay.
Yeah.
How about letting them know that, once you download it, make sure you keep it active so you will be notified.
Yeah, I sat there because, like I said, I got up real early, ate breakfast, grabbed my bag, went down to deck 2, and then I just sat there with the phone in my hand with the app open, just waiting.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of problems we kept, and I don't know what was causing it, but my phone kept disconnecting from their service. And even though I had it checked to automatically connect, I could go into the Wi-Fi and look, and it would show that it's checked, automatically connect to this network, and it showed the network was available, but it wasn't connected. I'd have to actually highlight it again, and then it would be, okay, you're connected.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, I'd look down and see that I didn't have any service and have to go through it again.
Right.
Oh, they're being bad. Oh. Well, I mean, we haven't been there because the one time we did go to, well, I guess now twice, we didn't stop in Victoria because it was right after COVID.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to.
And then this last one, we came in from overseas, so we'd already hit our foreign port, so we didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that would have been cool to stop there, but
I mean, we've gone up on the northern side of the falls. That's disappointing.
yeah.
Niagara Falls on the New York side is really cool. You go up on the Canadian side and you're just kind of standing here watching the water just kind of come in and fall off. And it's like,
Yeah.
drove all the way up here for this. It's going down a pothole.
Yeah, I walked across, and then we went. I think there was I want to say there was a Hard Rock Cafe right across on the other side. We had lunch there and came back. That's about all we did.
There's a giant guitar there too.
Yeah, I think they did. I had to pay like 50 cents or something to get back across the border. They had like a little turnstile, and because I was wondering, well, what do you do if you ain't got no change? I mean, I guess you don't get to go back to the States.
Then
I thought that was kind of off the wall.
I ain't gonna say it.
Seems like they should tell you that before you go across, so
Yeah,
you get some change there from their little machines, because that Canadian money ain't gonna work coming back.
right. Yeah, they wanted that. They wanted quarters, So luckily, I had some, but
Jen says we stop in Victoria next year, so we'll get to see it then.
Oh, cool.
Emily, I didn't think so. I was greatly disappointed. I literally stood there and went, "Is this it?" I mean, the kids kind of run around, had a good time, and then even on the New York side, I was just kind of like, "All right, well, this is all right."
Well, I actually thought it was going to be much bigger than it was, kind of like the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
I mean, they make it look like it's this humongous monument, and you get there, and it's like, oh, that's it. I mean, I didn't realize it was this small.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's small, but it's small compared to what I thought it was going to be because of the way they portray it on the TV and stuff.
Right.
And we even go on that Maiden of the Mist or whatever.
Yeah, because we're fussing and it was not as impressive, and we didn't go behind the falls or anything like that. But we did break down and pay for us to go on the.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Maiden of the Mist or if it was her sister boat.
I just remember that you could feel like the mist, the water hitting you before you even get to where you could see the falls.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Now, when we were down there looking up, I was like, oh, okay, now this is cool. But, standing here looking at it, I'd like to be up there in the winter when it's frozen. That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Be
Just
cold.
like icicles on your house and stuff freeze, well, the whole falls freeze. That'd be real cold. I think all that water freeze up. But.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that did amaze me was that we were at one point on the Canadian side, we were able to get up real close to the water and to see the amount of water that was going over. And it's just massive amounts. That did.
I was like, where's all that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to run out at some point?
Shut the valve off.
Yeah. It's kind of like, the lakes around here in the summer, they dry up because there's no water coming in. But maybe that was just a continuous heavy stream. And it's just.
Yeah.
I think at some point, wherever it's coming from, it's got to run out.
Yeah, I haven't really. I've been to New York City, but I was only there for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 hours, and so we were just kind of running around trying to see whatever. We didn't, I know I went to the museum that's there, and went by Central Park. Remember those two things. We ate lunch, and then I know the parking was ridiculous per hour, and that was like 20 years ago. So I can only imagine what it is now.
Yeah.
Well, we did. I don't remember how old Angela was. Our our oldest is born in June. The other one's in March, so we couldn't go anywhere on her birthday. It was always the older one. But she wanted to go to New York one year, so we went up there.
18th, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might have been. Went up there and we stayed, and we flew into Philadelphia, stayed in Maryland, rented a car, drove all up there. I saw some pretty cool stuff. Everybody else fell asleep. And then we took the bus from, I guess we got into New York City and maybe we took the bus into New York City because we went to Grand Central Station. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we were on one of those hop on, hop off buses, I guess. And it was a full day, and we saw a lot. And we went back. He had some training up in DC, and we got to see some stuff there. The kids didn't go with us on that, so we got to go do some cool things there too. But there was so much in New York that there was no way. We just kind of drove by and went. There's Central Park, and we were actually in the Grand Central Station. That was scary. As we were coming up an escalator, somebody was getting on and going down, or vice versa. I can't remember, but he looked like Rambo with the two dills going across, crisscross ammo.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, good grief! Keep going. Don't make eye contact. Go, go, go. We were going the opposite direction, so I didn't care. So just get out of here. But
yeah, I just know it was overwhelming, like getting out on the sidewalks with all the people and the buildings. And, Houston's a good sized city, but it ain't nothing compared to New York. That's for sure.
did you get the street dog? The hot dog from the little carts.
No, we ate at some Chinese place that was supposed to be, I don't know, some famous people ate there. So I wouldn't be able to tell you the name of it. I know it was good food, but
Well, there was, of course, the girls had to have pizza, right? Well, we went to,
It was on a Sunday, wasn't it?
what's the name of the capital? There, drawing a blank.
Albany?
Albany, yeah, we went to Albany, and that was on a Sunday because right next to there's a big like a convention center. There's a little hole in the wall pizza place there, and we went in there and ate. And those just the thin white paper plates are like yay big.
right.
The pizza was hanging off on all 3 points. And it was bigger than that. It was like $2.50 for a slice of pizza and a soda. That's the best pizza I've ever eaten in my life. We get into New York City and we stop at pizza places, and I'm just like, I mean, this tastes like Domino's. What's the big? But that, I mean, it was a thin crust. I got like hamburger. My gosh, it was good. Even the kids were, I mean, the pizza was bigger than their head.
Wow.
And the oldest one, she got a second slice. We're like, yeah, $2.50, go get it, and but that was one you had to literally roll it up and eat it, like a taco because it was huge.
Huge, yeah.
But man, it was good. I can't remember the name of it, but it was right next door to the little convention center there. And,
Yeah, it was just a little hole in the wall.
yeah. But yeah, what we got in New York City was not. I told him, I said, I gotta have a hot dog. I mean, it's New York, right? So went to the little cart and ordered one there, and they said, "What do you want, onion sauce?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so there's some kind of red sauce with some onions in it they put on top of it, and I'm just like, I took one bite and I get over to the side, I get my napkin, I'm raking it off into the trash can. Like that was a bad decision, but we did. It was after the 9/11, so we saw the memorial and everything there, and I mean.
Definitely did a lot of walking and sightseeing.
Took the girls to Arlington National Cemetery. That was incredible.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Oh, in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a place I haven't been. I've never been there either.
We tried to show them, how important a place it is, and just I think at that point they understood because they were 18 and 15, so old enough to know. Yeah. She said New York City, March, April, May. Yeah, it was June that we were there, and it was getting hot. Cool down in September. I hadn't been up there that time. I would like to go up for Christmas. The lighting of the tree and Central Park and all that. At some point in my life, but right now I don't have a lot of desire to go to New York. So I want to get on the Venezia, but I don't want to go to New York to do it. So
Yeah.
I'll wait till it leaves.
A lot of casino deals out there.
Yeah, she got some, and she just wasn't real sure about leaving, going up there and staying there at that time.
Yeah. We found out on him, he had 2 different accounts, and that's why, he wasn't getting any kind of offers. And so we get in and we get to look in, and we called him, and they were like, "Oh yeah, because he's showing one cruise number or whatever on his offers, and I'm showing something else." So I was like, "No." So we called and got everything combined, and then they were like, "Oh, this is gonna make you diamond," and we're like, "What?" I was like, "Well, I better be too," because he hadn't been on one without me, and then refigured. It was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be platinum." I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, the one account showed that I was still a blue card because they would send me an offer, and I'd click on it, and then said, "Well, here you need to log in." So I'd log in, and it showed that I was a blue card, and I was just like, and no cruises and stuff, and I'm, what the heck? And so that's when we just.
Never really thought about it. He just said, "Well, I don't play in the casino like she does."
Yeah.
That's what I get. But people are saying, "Well, I don't play in the casino at all," and I still got a really good offer, and we're like, "I don't know,"
Right.
Yeah, last time we were in DC, they were filming was it the last Transformers?
Yeah, it was one of the
And
Transformers.
so we saw it was the Decepticons we saw on the street, and
Yeah, Bumblebee had actually had a wreck and totaled and gotten totaled, and so they were having to bring in another car to replace it because during one of the chases not sure exactly what happened, but they ended up totaling it. I think somebody ran one of the barricades or something like that. There was somebody there that wasn't supposed to be there, and they ended up having to dodge him, and it ended up wrecking.
that's been a long time
Yeah.
ago. I don't remember what year we went. Kids were old enough we left them here, so
Yeah, I feel bad because I was stationed in Norfolk, and so I was really close to DC. I could have went, had it, all kinds of opportunities to go, but I just never got around to it. Of course, I mean, that was back when I was still on active duty, so we were always going out to sea, and there was always something going on.
Yeah.
Well, that would definitely be a good long weekend trip. Go up and hit the highlights and stuff. We went into one of the museums, and seems like we were in there forever. And we came out, and we were like, "What? There's 4 more? What?"
Oh, Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Emily says her aunt works at NMAAHC Museum. I'm not sure what that is, but it's up by the monument. So they were filming right there on the reflection pool. I think we saw the main guy like from a very far distance. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool. There's lots of neat things to see, and that's another thing. The White House much smaller than what it looks.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to figure. They probably using some wide angle lenses on TV and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I expected to go and it'd be ginormous, and you get there and it's like, yeah. So much bigger in my house, right? Yeah, no, it's a lot bigger in my house.
Right.
But it was, yeah. So I'm just like, wow. Okay, so that Niagara Falls, Statue of Liberty, bummer.
But the other stuff we saw was pretty cool. Being able getting on and off that bus was nice. Being able to just ride for a little bit. Hey, let's get off here.
Yeah.
See what they've got. Let's walk around over here. Get on another bus and.
We did the upper deck a little bit. I think everybody was starting to get pretty sunburnt. So then we got inside, and somewhere I have a picture of our youngest. He's got his arm up on the seat, and he's on one side, and me and the older one are on the other side of the bus. He's got his arm up on the seat like this, and she's just passed out, got her head laying on his arm. We're like, oh, somebody's had a long day. Okay, African American History and Cultural Museum. That was
Okay.
Okay.
a lot of letters that I didn't know. That's cool. Ground Zero, New York. Yes, we've been there. Actually, I have somewhere way back on my profile pictures. They had a little white rose stuck in some of the names, and I guess it represents it was their birthday that day or something like that. On where they have the names etched out of everybody that was killed. So. It's not that I didn't like it. I was disappointed. It was just not as big and as grandiose as we were always. In the Statue of Liberty, same thing. It was like, 30 feet tall and not 300 foot tall. Or, it was just different. I mean,
Yeah, it was disappointing because since the only thing we had to go by is what they basically show on TV, and they made it look like it was really huge. And then we get there and it's like, okay, well, it was.
I will say some of the waterfalls in Alaska, so much prettier.
Yeah.
So much prettier. So, but Yeah, I mean, there's been several things, and something else I always want to do is go to Chicago. Well, I think I'm going to pass on that now. Didn't make it when I was younger, so I'll skip that. But these were some bucket list things. I want to go to New York City. I want to see Times Square. I want to see, and even that was just kind of like not as grand as I thought it would be. Central Park, we drove around. It was huge, and from
Yeah.
what we could see from the bus, was really pretty. Then the Niagara Falls was not as grand as we thought. The White House wasn't as grand as we thought. And I'm just like, wow.
And Chicago's another that's another huge place. I went there 2 or 3 times because I was up there at the Great Lakes Navy base
Mm-hmm.
for a little while, and so my time off, I'd try to drive down to Chicago. Well, I drove down there, I think once, and then I rode the train a couple times. Went to the Navy Pier, and then I got yelled at, cussed at by some lady. I guess I don't know. She said I stole her cab. I have no idea what she was talking about, so I don't know. Then I went up there for like a hiring conference one time. Of course, didn't get a job, but it was like right after 9/11, and you couldn't go. They had the Sears Tower closed. You couldn't go up on that.
Well, we went not only Ground Zero, but Uncle Dave, we did. There's the church where everybody was staying. That were working in Ground Zero. They go over to this church and lay down and get some rest, and they have all kinds of artifacts and stuff in there. I mean, everything we saw was just amazing. And like I said, it wasn't that we didn't like the falls or whatever. It was just not as grand as we thought it would be. But everything we experienced, New York and DC, and now we did go to, was it Maine?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we went all up that way in Boston and all that, and we stopped and it was late in the evening. I think we talked about it once before. Got some lobster. I thought, oh, Maine lobster. He's really gonna like that. And it's just kind of like, nah, like chewing on a rubber band. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I thought they were supposed to be amazing up here. I'll stick with my steak. Thanks. But
They were bigger, but
I think it
again,
was
the
because it
taste-
was late at night. And it might have been one that was already cooked and they threw it back in to warm it up or something.
that could
I
have
don't
been
know.
it. I mean, I was not impressed with it at all.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, okay, we don't need to go back to Maine for lobster because it was not that great the first time,
Yeah,
But
my sister-in-law hasn't. She's from Maine, and I guess she gets some shipped in every now and then. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
but no, it was supposed to have been one of the. She said we went to a bad spot.
Could have been.
I mean, it was on. Was it Nantucket? No, I don't know. One of those famous towns, and out there and right on the coast, and we thought it was supposed to be pretty good. And like I said, I just think it was because it was like 8 in the evening or so, 8:30 or something. It was late, and they might have just tossed it back in, warmed it up, went, here you go. You could tell we weren't from there and wouldn't know any different.
Yeah.
I didn't know any different because I don't eat them.
Yeah, my only main experience is because we always, when I deployed to Iraq and then I deployed to Afghanistan, you fly up to that airport. I think it's Portland, Maine, and they have like all the USO people like show up, even if it's like in the middle of the night, and as soon as you get there, they'll be handing you like cell phones to call home, and which I thought that was pretty cool, There's a big turnout from them.
Yeah.
And then on the way back, same thing. You'd hit there, and they'd be there with the same cell phones again. So
Not a good restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. My steak was good. I mean,
Yeah.
well, that's something.
Yeah. Let's see. Jennifer, I thought the lobster was good. Maybe it wasn't a good spot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we might make it back up that way sometime, try it again, but I'm in no hurry for it. So. Yeah, it's awesome. They have all the organizations that are there for the military and do everything. We just, I'm sure we have things here, but because we're not connected to anybody that is active,
Right.
I have a coworker, her husband is reserve, and she'll post events that happened after they happened, which I get it's probably for safety purposes as well too. But I thought, well, I might like to go to some of these events or something, or try to show up for support. And when it's 4 hours after it's over, I'm like, oh, okay,
Right.
glad it went well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston was a cool city.
Mhm.
We pulled into there for it was a 4th of July in 2000, and that was pretty cool. I mean, the cool thing about that place, you could walk to all kinds of historic sites and stuff.
Mhm.
It's pretty easy to walk around.
We drove by the bar.
All Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, we didn't go in and find Norm's seat because the kids were too young. So, and they might have been able to because of it being a TV thing, but we just figured it was a bar, so we just went on. There was a college that Angela saw up there, and some pretty cool stuff up in that way. But
Yeah, I got tackled by a lady in Boston. That was kind of interesting because our ship pulled in pretty close to downtown, and then at the far end of the pier there was a cruise ship that pulled in, and so they had us out there in our whites, stand and watch on the pier, and this whole group of ladies came, and of course they had a few drinks, and so we were like, hey, because they were trying to like get on the ship, our ship, and we're like, hey, that's restricted, and so the officer on the ship was like yelling at me like, well, what do you want me to do, and so I'm like standing right at the gangway trying to block it, and she just like bum rushed me, and I was like, man, so luckily we had to get some guys to get her off, it's crazy.
Yeah.
My whites were all stained after that.
oh no, yeah, she probably had some of those blue Long Islands.
No.
Could be.
I think she probably had something stronger than that.
Is there anything stronger than that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Emily says her family loves seafood. Andrew had a $25 lobster roll. Loves raw lobster rolls from up there. But he's from in that area, so
He probably knows all the spots.
Yeah.
right. Scott, I see food and I eat it. Oh, what's you got? Next time you'll come to New Orleans, you should go to the World War II Museum here. It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, we like places like that. We try to hit all those.
Yeah, my coworkers went to something, but I was not feeling good. I was feeling a little bit better this trip than I did that one. So I just pretty much stayed in my room in New Orleans. So
Yeah.
got out, saw a little bit, but I was like, okay. We walked during the day through Bourbon Street, so I didn't really see anything there. But I was like, okay. It was misty, rainy, and I was trying. I had a head cold, and I get bronchitis real easy, and I thought I don't need that at the beginning of the conference. So I just went down, got a couple of things, walked by the police department and the courthouse, and got a box of pralines, but still have some at work. So
Those are good.
yeah, my dad used to make them when I was little.
That's something I haven't done either. I haven't really spent any time in New Orleans at all. I've driven through there a bunch, but I've never like stopped and spent the night or done anything.
We've gone through there a few times and spent the night in a couple of different places.
Well, it starts with an S, and it's about 30 minutes.
Slidell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Slidell. And the last time when my daughter, our youngest, was working at Disney, I went and picked her up. Jen was supposed to go with me, and I was like, I wish you had gone, but it's probably a good thing you didn't because she had so much crap. I thought we were going to have to be like the Clampetts with it all strapped on the top of the car. But we drove through, and she wanted to stop. And I was like, all right, as we're driving through New Orleans, she's like, keep going, keep going. And I'm like, I don't really comfortable with this, but, if you want to stop. And she's like, no. So we just drove through, got to the west side of it, stopped and got gas, and drove on into Houston. So.
Yeah.
But we had stayed at Slidell that night too. I don't remember if it was a Best Western or something. It was the same place we had stayed before when we all went through there.
Yeah.
Nice little hotel, very nice people, but there was just one of these days we're going to do a cruise out of there so we can actually go down and see everything.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, that
far.
would be neat. Well, I think I'm gonna jump up out of here. Starting to run out of steam. So
Yeah. She needs to get to bed. She's got to be at work at 7:00 in the morning.
Probably get up at 5:45.
man, that sucks.
I'll be up a little bit before you,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, just make sure I'm up before 6 so I can get to work on time.
Okay.
Says Andrew's like a Kennedy up there. Oh,
Ooh.
need to
Oh,
make sure that we go with him then.
royalty.
Eat lobster. Don't tell me.
Just tell them Andrew sent me next time I'm up there. Drop
Yeah.
it out there.
Drop his name. Yeah, there's some senator or whatever that has the same last name, and I'm like, y'all related? But I don't know. But yeah, I was just thinking I was gonna check out and leave him at it, but I think he's probably gonna go too.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on and everything.
Well, I appreciate you coming in.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
I don't know how to send all that stuff, so I was just like, hey, I'm friends with some that he's not, so let me do this, and I'll send it out to everybody, and then you just jump in and take over the conversation. Of course, I don't talk real well because I'm still bandaged over here and
No.
just not as big as it was. So
Right.
That's understandable.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming in, everyone. And Mike, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
enjoy visiting with you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And with that, well, we hope everybody has a safe weekend, what's left of it.
What's left?
And we will see you hopefully next Saturday or
I don't
Friday
know.
or Saturday.
I don't know what I'll work next. That scheduler would make up her mind.
Yeah, you'll have to talk to her.
Yeah, something.
Fire. Yeah, I was very happy to find out I didn't have to go to work after getting home late last night. So
Yeah.
getting everything done. So all right. Bye guys. Have a
Take
good
care.
one. We'll see y'all next time.
Yep.